fire away on the Shaykh. Raise your hand and I'll choose you to ask the question. So everybody's understood the thought.
Shaykh, is ghusl wajib for a newborn baby?
Sir?
Is ghusl wajib for a newborn baby?
We say it is actually recommended, but it is sunnah of fitrah. Do you remember Rasulullah mentioning the issues which is related to the fitrah? So he said that cleaning, the places, the locked places in the skin, okay, and all of them. So it is the sunnah of fitrah. But ghusl will be wajib by one of the reasons which is mentioned in the books of fiqh. And even, if you remember, if someone converts into the religion, so is it wajib? Well, according to our Shafi'i scholars, it is wajib, but according to us, it is only mustahab. Okay, but when it will be wajib, so after, for example, the hayd, etc., so all of the issues which is mentioned. Yeah. Anything else?
I have a question related to the topic today. You gave examples of how to give good tarbiyah to children. And you gave examples of how prophets are the best for that.
Yeah.
We have scenarios in the Quran such as Nuh alayhi salam,
Yes.
where one of his sons was ready, was that kafir. Can you explain why Allah gave us that message?
Well, isn't it that Quran explained itself? Okay, so Quran said, in terms of امرأة نوح ولوط كانتا تحت عبدين صالحين من عبادنا فخانتاهما. So we are giving the examples of the wives of the righteous people. Wife of Lut, wife of Nuh alayhi salatu wassalam. So then Allah says, كانتا تحت عبدين صالحين. So they were wives of very righteous slaves, two prophets. فخانتاهما, but they betrayed, they disobeyed. You understand? Yeah. Okay. So the error in terms of this Canaan, according to the Israeliyat, Canaan, son of Nuh alayhi salam, so they say it's because of the mother. Yeah, but in our time, we have many sources, isn't it, for the development of our kids. So it's internet and school, etc. But it's yet the responsibility of the parents to choose the right school and the right, we can say, environment. Okay. So children, parents, they still can affect even on that one also by limiting maybe the TV channels, by limiting some. You understand? So parents should be there, present, controlling, looking after all of that.
You were talking about children and being obedient and helping the parents.
Yeah.
If somebody's, I'm talking about financially supporting now.
Yeah.
If somebody's not rich or wealthy but is having a living and his parents are expecting financial help, and obviously he has children who need supporting as well, who has more right?
Mashallah, it's a good question. There are not any other children who would help the parents, isn't there? This only him.
Oh no, there is siblings, but maybe they're still expecting that this brother also has.
Because in fiqh, unfortunately, in our time, no one cares about fiqh, isn't it? Everyone just makes up his own fiqh, etc. But according to our fiqh, the responsibility, if everyone is poor, so responsibility will be lying according to the share of inheritance, according to Hanafi fiqh. So, son will be responsible for double share of the daughter. You understand? To provide. You understand? But do we have now people who care about it? Well, I don't blame them because we all commit sin, don't we? So it's a tough situation. I cannot comment on it, but the person should be wise enough to work out somehow. Yeah, so it's real situation, but I don't know what to say. Sorry for that.
We have some questions from the ladies. Messages are not coming through for some reason, so I'm just going to be brave enough to say it.
I wanted to know, people say that children have beta and terrible twos. I've got a 2-year-old who has
cannot hear you. Sorry.
Should I just repeat the question for you? Yeah, she's asking about being, there's a certain phase that children go through at the age of 2,
Yeah.
where they start behaving really, really bad.
Yeah.
Is there any basis of that in Islam, or why might that be?
Not each single thing you should ask to the sheikhs and mullahs and maulanas, So if it is to do with the children's behavior, so then you should speak to the expert. Do you understand? Okay. But anyway, because I do have a degree on this psychology, so they say that sometimes, because within the first period of the age, the senses will start developing. So some of the children, they will be unable to comprehend that. So they will start acting strangely. So you should not put the pressure on them. So you have to let them to just overcome this period. Do you understand? Okay? As well as sometimes some of the children will be noisy because of some illness. You have to go to find out if there could be something. Because they cannot say, for example, I have a headache. Can they say? Do you understand? So, but instead they will be noisy. So you have to go to medical test. Okay.
Another question just come through. You said to be soft in tough situation and to be tough in soft situation. How can we judge what situation is best for what? Softness and toughness classes.
Yeah, so because we normally learn from the life, isn't it? So the experience in the life, it should teach us. Just look back the places because of your tough character you made error. Means in that type of situation you have to be soft. Do you understand? Just look back and learn from your own experience. Yeah.
Sheikh, is life insurance allowed?
It's a controversial question actually, and as you know, the contemporary fuqaha, they say that it's bay' al-gharar. So I'm not commenting, but I'm only transmitting what our contemporary fuqaha say. So they say it is bay' al-gharar. Bay' al-gharar means buying something which is unknown. Because what's the meaning of life insurance? So you will be paying a certain amount of money on annual basis, for example, and if something wrong happens, they will provide some certain service. But then you are paying, so that incident may happen this year or it may not happen. Okay, means you are paying for something which is unknown. So they call it bay' al-gharar, and they say based on this principle, which is hadith, so this is prohibited. Life insurance, they say it is prohibited. But I did not make my own research, so I cannot comment on it. Because life insurance is new issue. So it's not something that you can open our fatawa books, fatawa Hindiya, fatawa Shamia, and find it there. It's not that issue, but it is new issue.
It's only because of some common experiences that people sort of take out, say, do financial transactions. From a personal experience, I knew of a person who took out a loan, and then the father passed away, and the mother and the children were burdened with responsibility of that.
Yeah, of course. For another thing, you may have this incident, car crash, for example.
Yeah.
Okay, and then if you are not insured, so then it's headache, isn't it? So this, what you are calling as burden and headache, that's what we call as hajiyat. So the fiqhi issues, which is related, which is not religious ritual, is split into 3 categories. One is daruriyat, one is hajiyat, and one is tahsiniyat. So tahsiniyat is luxury, does not change haram into halal. Daruriyat 100% changes. Okay, daruriyat changes 98% of the issues of haram into halal. So daruriyat is to do with the life, or it is to do with very big unbearable pain. So if that's the case, 100% any haram becomes halal, except very tight number of issues. Okay, even verbally committing kufr becomes halal. Do you remember? It is in Quran. And the hajiyat, there where problem goes, is non-clarity, ambiguity. Hajiyat is nothing to do with the daruriyat, so it's nothing to do with your life, okay, and nothing to do with huge pain. But it is huge discomfort, which is not a pain, but the huge discomfort. So hajiyat makes 60% of haram into halal. But what are these 60% and what is its basis and principle? Scholars disagreed. You understand? So what you are saying in terms of the insurance as well as coverage, all of them will fit into the hajiyat. Okay? And from my own side, I say hajiyat is stronger than that al-gharar principle. So if you prove that it is to do 100% with hajiyat, 100% it becomes permissible. Because hajiyat is not as strong as daruriyat, but it's not as weak as tahsiniyat either. Okay.
We've got a question here. Nowadays there are so many single parents, so we find mums being both mum and dad, but then they don't remarry because of the fear that the new partner may not treat their child like their own. What would you advise in this situation?
You know, Islam actually strongly advises for both of the parents being there. So even, do you remember the permissibility of having second and third and fourth wife? It was for the purpose of protecting the lady as well as the child, isn't it? What Allah said, وَإِنْ خِفْتُمْ أَلَّا تُقْسِطُوا فِي الْيَتَامَى. If you will be afraid, so it's our duty as a man to maintain, to look after the orphans of our family, cousins, etc. But Allah says, so you have to maintain, but if you think that you will be unable to be just towards them, so then marry their mothers. Marry their mothers, and even if there are some more orphans, marry their mothers also, but with the condition that you will be just towards their mothers. Do you understand? It's because it's understandable, because the place of the father for the child is very important. For him to become fully developed human being, he needs the strength and the wisdom of the father, or otherwise he will remain as weak as he was. Do you understand? But as well as we do not want it to be only father, so then children will become more or less black and white thinking, you know, tough Bedouins. So we need the mother also. So if, for example, father, will be widowed, so Islam very strongly recommends this person to bring a lady into his house, so the children will get the tarbiyah and you can say smell of the mother in the house also. Do you understand? So just to get some more colors in the character of the children.
The question was about the rights of the lady. Should she remarry?
Well, as I said, it's quite an important thing, you know. But finding the right spot, that's another problem, because unfortunately for some reason our generation, I'm talking about my generation, well everyone knows I'm 18 years old. Okay, so my generation people, for some reason they're weak, you know, low behavior. So for example, the generation of my father, so he's 25 years old, you know, so his generation, they have nobility. They're quite noble people, you know, they say, they do. I don't know how, maybe it's because their fathers, they were quite good people, you know, so they gave good discipline. But for some reason, our generation people, well, I can understand myself because subject to communists, so in the communism, human being is just cell, you understand? Cell in the society, does not have any other extra value besides that. But Quran treats the people much more higher, isn't it? Okay, so that's why I can understand why my generation who were born in communism and grew up in they are a bit weak and weird behaved people. Okay, so that's why if, for example, someone in my age, some lady is widowed or divorcee, so definitely she has to bring some man, masculine, into her house, but in the same time, she should be careful because my generation, they're a bit strange people, you know. Nobility is not there. Honesty, nobility is not there, unfortunately. But the role of masculine man in the family is not replaceable by the mother herself. Yeah.
Okay, one question at the back there.
I have a question. When, for example, my grandparents will pass away, would they be aware of my dad being visits the grave? Would they be aware of what he's doing and of us?
You mean in the grave?
Yeah.
According to our belief as Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, we say that yes, it is that. We normally back up our position by this verse in which Allah says, قُلْ اعْمَلُوا فَسَيَرَى اللَّهُ عَمَلَكُمْ وَرَسُولُهُ وَالْمُؤْمِنُونَ. Tell them, O Prophet, alayhi salatu wassalam, tell them, carry on practicing, because Allah will see your deeds and Prophet and the believers. Okay, so that's one thing. And then there is another hadith. It is ahad, but because the ayah is there, so it will be, as you can say, surrounding, supporting, you can say, proofs, in which Rasulullah says, when our relatives will see us committing sin, so they ask God, they say, don't take his life in this type of situation, give extra, extend, so he will repent. And when our relatives, the passed away relatives, when they see us doing good deeds, for example, now, according to our Ahlul Sunnah belief, they're seeing, watching us, participating in this glorious deed. So they make dua saying, if you want to take his life, so take his life in this type of situation. You understand? So, so based on this type of hadith, so we know that our relatives who passed away, they see. Wallahu a'lam.
Okay, just go back. Sorry. Yeah.
And if we do, for example, if there's an act of charity in their name or people who are maybe you could give it?
Yeah, it's again, according to our position, we do believe that actually it will reach them, regardless if it is charity, or you just make some food and invite the people, or you even read Quran and send it to them. Well, obviously it is the position of former madhab of Ahlul Sunnah, but as you know, our Salafi brothers, they slightly disagree on only recitation of Quran, but they are with us in the rest of the issues, making dua, charities, etc.
Okay, well, 3 questions.
One question just on that. You mentioned in the ayat, you said believers, does that mean people will pass away or people are alive as well?
That's the part of the dispute, because some of the other sects, they say that the person who passed away, unless he is shaheed, they will see nothing. According to them, yeah. So they say, but shuhada will see, because shuhada, them being dead means, so they were in the UK, but now they're living in America, but they're still alive. Do you understand? So that is the definition of death in terms of shuhada. But shuhada, what's the meaning of shuhada? Shuhada are the people who were in the service of God and died, regardless if they will be killed or die. According to that, all of the prophets are shuhada. The killed ones and the ones who passed away naturally. Okay? Because the meaning of being shaheed is the testimony in front of God in Yawm al-Qiyamah. And the people who are in the service of God, it does not mean praying in the masjid, but service of God. For example, if you're a genuine believer, so you, for example, are trying to correct the errors, or you are trying to advise for good, serving the creation, you are shaheed. Understand? So those people in Yawm al-Qiyamah will bear a testimony saying, I saw him doing error and I corrected him. So that is proof against you, and you were the witness. So that's the meaning of and everyone else, according to this school of thought, they say everyone else will be dead and they will go into barzakh regardless. Okay? But according to our belief, barzakh is only applicable to specific group of very oppressive disbelievers. So they will be only in the barzakh. And even some of the disbelievers who are not oppressive, they can see, according to our belief. Imam Malik radiallahu anhu says that the arwah will be set free after the death. They are free to go wherever they want. Well, unless if they are in debt, they did not, so they died before paying off the debt, or they in barzakh, all of them, and the rest of the arwah, regardless, believer, disbeliever, Muslim, Christian, Jewish, so all of them will be set free. Yes, sir. You know, these type of issues is quite difficult to have certainty on. Yeah. So that's what we have. One of the Hanbali scholars in Muhammad, so he mentioned in Kitab al-Ruh, I don't remember how many opinions, but it was a big number. Big number. Kitab al-Ruh. Quite big number of opinions in terms of where road goes after the death. So it shows that there is no very clear-cut proof with anyone, so that's why there's big differences and big conflict in the issue.
Okay, a few more questions here. The first one is, on top of the question we asked about Nuh alayhi salam, that what about the situation of Adam and Hawa, his son, who turned bad and committed murder?
First of all, it is disagreed upon, you know. First of all, not each single scholar says that, you know, the two sons of Adam who killed each other. So not everyone believes that it was the direct sons of Adam alayhi salam. Okay? But in here, Ibn Adam, Ibn Allah saying two sons of Adam, it is the same as Rasulullah alayhi salam mentioning in many ahadith Qudsiyya, Ya Yabna Adam, O son of Adam. You understand? But hadith is in Bukhari, but you understand? For example, grave speaks to the people saying, Yabna Adam, O son of Adam, speaking to you, to me. Doesn't mean that my father is Adam. It doesn't. Do you understand? So that is disagreed upon. I personally support the opinion who says that these two people who killed each other, they're not direct sons of Adam alayhi salam, but that is Israeliyat, that is taken from the Old Testament. And our scholars transmitted that as Israeliyat. Okay.
Okay, next question is, if we do not give tarbiyah to our kids, how should it be given? Will we be punished for that in the hereafter, as if we break in hukuk al-ibad?
Definitely, because Allah is ordering. What's the meaning of a sin? I think someone is. What's the meaning of sin? Sin is it is, you can say, the fruit of the act of disobedience. If someone is disobedient, so he may get a sin. Okay? So Allah is ordering, Allah is saying, who protect anfusakum, yourself, wa ahlikum, and your families, naran, from a fire. Okay, so it is order. So disobeying the order of God may constitute some type of sin. Yeah.
Okay, and finish. Well, this one, we'll finish up with your question, inshallah. We are living in a society where people say you have to be bad or evil to get anywhere, such as take bribes or lie or take away other people's rights. What would be your advice or answer to this type of mentality of people?
You know, saying the truth, it is the level, it's right after the level of prophethood, so it's not easy, you understand? So Siddiq is the person all the time gets the things right, speaks right, does right. We're human beings, so mistakes here and there, fine, but over 99% of the time, he is saying the right and doing the right. Siddiq. Okay? So saying few lies here and there is unavoidable. Okay? But as you know, the lie is different levels. Okay? Sometimes the most dangerous lie is a lie on behalf of God. And lie on behalf of God is, you can say, it is mainly performed by us. Teachers, shuyukh, maulanas, mullahs, scholars, muftis, you understand? Because speaking lie on behalf of God is deliberately giving wrong fatwa. Because what's the meaning of fatwa? It is expressing that God stated on this as halal and on this as haram. Okay? So Allah said, وَلَا تَقُولُوا لِمَا تَصِفُ أَلْسِنَتُكُمُ الْكَذِبَ هَذَا حَلَالٌ وَهَذَا حَرَامٌ. Do not make up a lie by saying this is halal. And that is classed as lying on behalf of God. And the second major lie is lying to oppress someone. Okay? And oppression, the punishment of the oppression is not easy. Okay? But sometimes there will be just, for example, small lies. For example, so your wife was asking you to buy a new, the necklace, gold necklace, and you don't want that. You say, I didn't receive my salary yet, but I did receive. I mean, you did receive it. It's not me, but you did receive it, But when she finds out from your bank account that it was there, you say, it's not mine, So you make up that type of lies, So sin is not going to be as the first and second one. Okay. But, eating small, for example, just little bit of food from halal, that is much more powerful and blessing than eating that much with haram. So you being deceptive, oppressing people and lying, because in our time, without lie and without oppressing, you cannot do. So that does not make you, your life comfortable. Because oppression, one day, definitely it will beat you really badly. Okay? So living and eating as much as you will just fill your tummy, but with a peace of mind that you oppress no one. So there is no any fear here and hereafter. That is much more blessing than living in the luxurious palace, but knowing that you oppress people and one day some of them will come to kill you. You understand? So of course, it's not only in our time, but even in the past also, the problems used to be there. Allah promised, Allah said, وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي كَبَدٍ. We have created the human in the hardship. So hardship is unavoidable. And even then, Allah is insisting that you have to be noble. So hardship does not justify your oppression. Okay? So hardship is there 100% because God created us like that. Okay? But novelty is requested all the time.
Shaykh, is in relation to inheritance. Is one sinful if prolonging the distribution of inheritance to your estate property? For example, a father who owned a property, he's passed away and it's been about 20 years.
Yeah.
His wife survives him and his children were all adults and they've not actually sorted out the inheritance. Are they sinful or should they sort that out?
That should be as soon as possible, especially Quran emphasizes on the inheritance, because one of the main reasons why inheritance is mentioned specifically in Quran, just to support, just to defend the women, isn't it? If you go to Quran, to Surah An-Nisa, to find out, whenever Allah speaks about the inheritance, so the shares will be orientated from the women. Okay? So if there will be husband and wife, so wife gets that much. But what about husband? Does not mention. Father, mother gets that much. Do you understand? Your wives, if you have children, so 8. No children, quarter. You understand? All the time, women, because the reason of that was, in that time in Arabian Peninsula, they would not give her the inheritance. Like Allah says, وَتَأْكُلُونَ التُّرَاثَ أَكْلًا لَمًّا. And you just swallow the inheritance, you do not give it to the, So that's why delaying the inheritance, especially when there are some needy people, especially if it is women, so that's going to be included into that verse. وَتَأْكُلُونَ التُّرَاثَ أَكْلًا لَمًّا. Yeah, so it definitely, it's most likely is going to, so it's definitely most likely. So there will be sin.
One more question over there.
Just going back to what you say about children, harshness from the father and softness from the mother. You mentioned an example of the father beating the mother, and that's overly harsh, where he needs to be soft.
Yeah.
But you know, you have a lot of situations now where there's long-term marriages and there's a lot of domestic violence. So this is a common theme. So 20, 30 years, the marriage is going on, it stays maintains the marriage, and the wife is getting beaten on a regular basis. So even the children as well. So are we getting? Does that mean that you're getting a dose of both of them? From the father, you're getting too much harshness, and is that from the mother too much softness? So you're actually getting
Both.
Yeah.
Exactly, yes. So you're getting both of them, yeah. So Jabbar in Quran, that's what Jabbar is, because his father was like that, so he learned that from his father. So most likely your children will be like that also, beating their wives. Yeah, and wife not acting, not taking serious steps against that, so it shows the weakness. So then the kids will be oppressed in their life, but they will do nothing. They will be as a sheep, as a, So, for example, their right will be eaten. They will be unable to express themselves. They will be unable to do because they saw their mothers like that.
So they'll be overly like aggressive because of the father, and then cowardly because of the.
Yeah, no, because now isn't it we're having all of that? Do you know the inconsistency of the behavior? Just go to my Facebook and read the people, the top famous people, even shuyukh. There is no consistency because they have got both actions from their fathers and mothers. So now they have schizophrenic behavior. Okay, so you don't know if it's one person commenting or more than one. Schizophrenic behavior, because that's how they have got tarbiyah in their houses. So there is no consistency.
Fine. One more question here. Donating organs, is this allowed? And if we're not allowed, can we accept an organ?
In contemporary fuqaha, they agreed that donating and accepting it, if it is the issue of life-threatening, only in case of darura, only then it is permissible. But besides that, they said it's not permissible because they said the desperate situations will justify the prohibition becoming permissible. Yeah. But I did not make research by myself. But I think it's just what fair. What they said makes sense actually. Yeah.
Okay, we're now drawing towards the end. We've got about 3 or 4 minutes left, so I'll just take one more question and we'll finish off with that question, inshallah. Yep, another.
Sheikh, can a son do it now as well?
Yeah, of course, yeah. So the aura between the mahram, what's the mahram? My sister, my auntie, my mother, my grandmother, okay, my milk mother. According to Hanafi school of thought, between the belly button up to the, including the belly and the back. So shoulder up is not, means I can give massage to my mother, to my grandmother, cooking, even massaging, you understand, as long as there is cloth, okay, and the shins, except just giving massage, all of that is perfectly fine, yeah.
Okay, just like to close with saying Jazakallah to the Shaykh, Jazakallah for everyone for attending. MashaAllah, it was a great turnout. Also, just like to make everyone aware, this is a monthly gathering which we do every month on the last Saturday of each month. The next one will be on the 26th of December, which is Boxing Day, if I'm not right, if I'm not wrong. So instead of going to the sales or after going to the sales, you can come down after Meadow Hall, come over here for a coffee break, and then after your coffee break, you go back and look for your sales again. Okay.
So just one more thing, because next is going to be the Boxing Day there, and you guys are going to these, the discounted places. Don't forget about me. No, not dua, no, the other thing. Okay, don't forget about the other thing for me. Yeah?
Okay, Jazakallah khair for attending. Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.